Welcome to another dose of virtual vitamin Z. This is DZS News for the week of March 7th, 2022. I'm your co-host, Stephen.
And I'm your co-host, Claire. As always, let's get started with some Detroit Zoological Society updates. What do we have this week, Stephen?
Well, Claire, this month is the March of the Penguins. And by that, we mean that not only can you visit the Detroit Zoo and the Polk Penguin Conservation Center, which is newly opened and refurbished and just incredible, but you can also check out 3 penguin-related blog posts on the Detroit Zoological Society blog, including one that's already up there about a king penguin chick who hatched in 2020. And what's really cool about this story is that it highlights, as so many stories we've shared with you recently, the ingenuity of our animal care staff and their willingness to be creative problem solvers in making an impact, helping the animals under our care. I don't want to spoil it for you, so go ahead and visit the blog and check it out.
I have to say, if you haven't come back out and visited the Polk Penguin Conservation Center since it reopened, more than 10,000 people did just this past weekend alone. So make sure you come on back out. There's some great improvements to the space. Plus, you get to see Archie, the new chick, plus another chick that's out there that's starting to grow up a little bit. So now's the time to visit, because in a moment, those penguins are going to look like the adults.
And I will say, if you get to the zoo and you notice that the line looks very long, just be patient. I was there. The line looked really long, 10 minutes, and everybody was able to get in. So it doesn't take too long, and it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, they're doing a great job moving everybody through the building. Other updates, very exciting news from the DEIA front, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Accessibility. Our very own Dr. DeAndrea Matthews received the 2022 Michigan Chronicle Women of Excellence Award. So this is very exciting. For the last decade, the Michigan Chronicle has celebrated local African-American women who inspire others through vision and leadership, exceptional achievements, and participation in community service. So she was honored with that, and there'll be an event on March 31st to celebrate her and the other women who were receiving of those awards this year. In addition, Dr. DeAndrea has a very interesting article up on the Association of Zoos and Aquariums webpage, focusing on DEIA in the workplace. I read through it. It's fantastic. I would highly encourage you to check it out as well. It's very insightful and thoughtful in there.
Yeah, and I really love seeing both of these because some of the people who work at the DZS, the work they do is very upfront and apparent, right? Like our animal care staff, it's very clear. You can see the work that they're doing, but there are so many incredible staff who do work that isn't as apparent. And Dr. Matthews has just had such an amazing impact on our organization since she started here a little over a year ago, I believe. So really exciting for other people to be able to get an inside glimpse at the work that she's been doing, and really excited for people to read it.
Stephen, back to you for our feature story.
Thanks, Claire. So this feature story is the Window Decorating Challenge. And before you go and just start painting your windows, I want to put this into context a little bit. This is a window decorating challenge with the goal of helping local bird populations and the individual birds who make them up. And as we get into the spring, we're going to start seeing spring migration season. And this is a time when a lot of birds might be traveling through our space. And one big threat to birds throughout the year, but especially during migration season, is window strikes. Birds don't perceive the world in the same way that we humans do. They also move through this world very fast. And the windows on our houses and other buildings can be really difficult to distinguish from the open air. The good news is that one really easy action we can take to help birds is by identifying especially those windows in our homes, in our houses, and just decorate them. Put up tape, put up decals, even something as simple as soap or tempera paint can have a huge impact. And the goal is to make sure that you are putting them ideally 2 inches by 2 inches apart. And the reason for this is that birds are such adept flyers that any more space than that, and they will feel that they can get through it, because if it were open air, they could. Another thing I do want to emphasize is safety first, especially if you live in a multi-story house. You might think, okay, well, birds fly up in the sky, so I want to go out and I'm going to decorate the highest windows on my house. Please be safe when you're doing this. Actually, the lower level, the first story windows, if you can just decorate those, you're going to have a huge impact on helping birds. So decorate your lower level windows with tempera paint, soap, anything you can find. And if you'd like, take a picture, send it to us, and we will feature it at the end of the month.
This is a great challenge. I'm really excited to see what the community does. I know we've done a tremendous amount of work over the years here at the zoo in making our windows as safe as possible for our flighted, feathered friends. When I moved into our house, I was really disappointed that all of our screens were on the outside of our windows because they're harder to keep clean. But in retrospect, it's really good for the birds because they can see the screens and they don't crash into our windows. All right, for our virtual education program preview for the week, as always, we are starting you off on Monday with DZS News.
Next up on Tuesday, we have a Green Journey episode on spring cleaning.
On Wednesday, our Amplifying Voices series will feature Better Common Names Project.
On Thursday, we'll have a live virtual habitat chat at the Panamanian golden frog habitat.
Always one of my favorites. And on Friday, as always, Stephen, you'll wrap up the week with a humane tip focusing on the Humane Youth Award.
Yep. So very exciting lineup this week. Be sure to check those out. They're all going to be up at 11 a.m. on our Facebook.
All right, that's everything we have for you this week. Until next week, stay healthy, Detroit.